Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm saying that. I'm so excited to finally be on YouTube, guys. Oh my god, me. If you would have told the high school me that someday I'm gonna have a YouTube channel or have anything to do with speaking in the public, trust me, she wouldn't believe you. I was like the most nervous child out there. And trust me, I'm still that child deep inside. I think I've just been able to do a lot of work to finally get myself out there. And journey has not been easy. I just never thought I would get here. I have been wanting to start a YouTube channel since 2020 when I was living in the US, but I just kept on procrastinating. And then this year, I think finally something changed in me, and I was like, I have to get on here. I think the biggest part for me was always balancing life and also wanting to do content. I have a 9 to 5 job. I've had one since 2021. So that takes a huge chunk of my time in the entire week. And the only time that I have for myself is on Sundays. And I was like, even if I were to film my life, would it be exciting enough for people to see? And I think as I grew older and this is my 6th or 7th year of working, I kind of look back and think that the memories in my life were so beautiful. The experiences I had were so amazing. And when I talk to people now, they're like, oh my God, you got to experience that. Like, it's not even like things that I think everyone gets to experience. And I think it is a regret of mine that I haven't been able to share that with the world or keep a repository for myself also on YouTube. And that is why I finally wanted to get on here. I have always posted content on Instagram, but I'm so glad that this year I finally started taking it seriously. What really shifted in me is that I really stopped caring about looking perfect. And I think that takes off so much pressure before putting yourself out there. I think the need to look perfect, kind of holds us back and like what people would think. And I think this year I finally stopped caring. And I think a huge part of that has to do with the fact that I'm turning 28 in less than 2 weeks. And I finally realized, if I have to do things in my 20s and you watch all these reels where people talk about, oh, like your 20s are your time to experiment. And I think I kind of always played it safe a little bit in terms of showing people what my life is. I think I'm very brave in terms of living my life. At the age of 18, I moved from Guwahati, Assam to Boston, or a place near Boston called Amherst, for my education, for my undergrad. Those things were things that I wish I had captured my entire journey there. I studied in University of Massachusetts Amherst for 5 years, both for my undergrad and master's. I had an amazing time there, made so many amazing friends. I think honestly that was the best chapter of my life. After that, I started working in corporate America. I moved to New York. I think I had an amazing growth journey living by myself in New York. I think figuring out who I was, away from all support systems. Like, I didn't have any of my college friends there. I didn't have my parents. I didn't have any family friends. I had nobody. And I was just there by myself. And around that time is when I jumped into my pageant career. I know, I mean, it sounds crazy, but I have always loved pageants. But again, even with pageants, I did the same thing that I did with YouTube. I was just so scared about what people would say. But then when I was in New York and I was all by myself, I think really needed to do something for myself, because I think I was getting to a point where I was starting to feel extremely lonely in life, because I cared so much about what other people would think about me that I stopped caring about what I think about myself. And I think that's where true loneliness stems from. It's not even about the physical presence of other people. It's more so to do with you abandoning yourself. I think for me, that totally stems from like my childhood. And, I'm not shy in saying I didn't have a great time in school, because that is my journey and that is my experience. And I had a very difficult time when I was in school, in terms of my body image, in terms of figuring out who I was. I think even growing up, I had a lot of independence in terms of navigating my life. I think from a very, very early age, I would say even from the age of like 7 or 8 years old. One good thing from that is that you learn how to figure out the world on your own and you become an independent person, which I think I am today. But I think the difficult part with that is you don't have the tools to navigate your life at the age of like 9, 10, 11, or 12, because at that age, you don't have the maturity or the self awareness to be able to guide yourself emotionally. And I think, I have struggled with like anxiety and depression when I was in school. And a huge part of me not wanting to put myself out there, I think, came from there, because I was like, would I be mentally strong enough to hear people's opinions on my life or how I put myself out there? People who put their lives out there are very brave, because with your life being public, you have to hear everything that people want to say about you. And sometimes people are not kind. And that held me back for a long time. But I cannot let that take control over the rest of my life, is what I have realized this year. So that's why I'm finally here. And I'm so excited to share my life with you guys. I think one of my biggest goals with starting YouTube is obviously to share more of my life and who I really am and what I think and what things have helped me, navigate my professional career, navigating my mindset. And second thing is, for me, I moved back from US, back to India, back to Assam, and I'm working here. But it's the same thing. When I left, I was younger, so it was easier to make friends then. It's so much more difficult for me to make friends now, I feel. I don't know if anyone else is struggling with that. That is a biggest struggle of mine. And my thing with starting YouTube is I want to find a community on here, a community where we can feel like we hear each other, we see each other. I think in today's world where there's so much chaos, there's so much, I don't know, unhappiness and struggle, like just finding companionship and finding people who are similar to you, who have a similar mindset like you, who see the world in the way you do. I think that is so special. This is what I want to tell you guys. I'm going to be sharing everything. There is no holding back, starting from my fitness journey, which is a big part of my life right now, both the ups and downs. Trust me, it's not been a consistent journey. I want to show you guys what the days in my life look like being in Guwahati, Assam. It's so different than what my life used to look like before, but I think it's so unique. I want to take you guys on my mindset journey with me. I have been working on myself, on becoming better mentally. I think if you can control your mind, if you can regulate your emotions, that is the biggest gift you can give to yourself. And that is an ongoing journey for me. And I would love to share that journey with you guys. You're someone who is focused on becoming the best version of yourselves, is focused on having the best mindset, is focused on regulating their emotions. This is going to be the space for you. And while doing all of that, we're definitely going to have fun. I hope to build a community here. If you guys feel like this resonates with you, hit subscribe, because I'm going to be posting videos every week. And if you guys are still watching this, drop your name and where you're from in the comments. And I would love to get to know you guys as well. Bye.